All right, ladies. So finally, a little late, but here's the video. So I just want to give you an update. So I was doing 2 weeks, not changing my plan, sticking with the same thing. And that was 1,800 to 2,000 calories a day, 8,000 steps a day, and shooting for the 145 grams in protein. So how did that go? The 2 weeks is over. So I did pretty good. There was only one day in there, not counting today, that I didn't get the 8,000 steps. And it was really by pure accident. I just knew I had like 1,000 steps left to get. Got busy doing something else. Went to bed at about the time I'm like going to go to sleep. And it's like 9-something o'clock at night. I was like, oh, I didn't finish my steps. But yesterday I was at like 5,000 something steps. And it was 7 o'clock. And I was like, can't I just not? I'm like, I already missed one day this week. What's the big deal? Can't I just? And I was like, you know what? That one day I missed was accident. I don't want this to become a thing. I don't want this to start planting more seeds of not fulfilling this goal. So got up, went outside, walked around, got to my 8,000 steps. So now what I'm doing, starting today, my new goals for the next 2 weeks. Oh, let me tell you what, I was tracking my weight too, okay? So, the first week I told y'all I lost 3.7 pounds. That's great. Usually your first week, when you're really paying attention to things, you're going to lose your bigger amount. Just kind of how it happens. Well, this week I lost 0.7 pounds. Now, I could be like, oh my gosh, it's not very much. And it's not. But look, here's the deal. This is what I've learned from back in the past times as well, when I've tracked my weight every day. This is the week of my period. Usually I could put on 3 to 5 pounds in water weight alone. I know this about myself, so the fact that I'm showing a 0.7 pound weight loss on my period week, I'm good with that. I'm fine. I don't have to be upset about it because I know my body's going through it right now. She's doing her thing. She's doing what God created her to do, right? She was preparing to bring life into the world, and she's like, oh no, wait, that didn't happen. So, and then all of that, we gain a little fluff. We get a little softer. We get a little bloated. And so, okay, I'm just going to be kind to my body and kind to myself because she's going through it right now, which means I'm going through it right now, right? So, 0.7 pound loss for the week. Okay, that's fine. Not to mention, also, during period week, that's 1,800 to 2,000 calories. Do I have to tell y'all there's a couple days I went a little bit over? But we're going to give ourselves some grace. Okay. So, with all that said, my 2 weeks is up. What am I going to change? So, I've talked to God about this. I'm back and forth on what to keep tracking, what to keep doing. So, this is where I've landed with God. Continue to track my food, staying at the 1,800 to 2,000 calories. Now, look. Y'all, I usually go about, I might as well just go ahead and say 2,100 calories, because I'm usually more closer to 2,200 calories a day. But just having that goal of 18 to 2,000, I think it kind of keeps me to that lower. And I'm okay with my calories kind of being up, and I'm still showing a trend of going down. So I'm going to keep doing that. I don't want to lower my calories any more than that, trying to get like a faster result. Because all it's going to do is cause me to plateau faster. And then I really have to go down. I don't want to do that. I want to let my body do what she's going to do. And we're going to go nice and slow. And because the whole point of this is not just to drop the weight, but to learn how to enjoy food the right way. A proper way. Alright, so my plan for the next 2 weeks, I'm going to keep the calories about the same. I'm going to up my steps to 8,500 calories. 8,500 steps a day. So, except for Tuesdays and Saturdays, I'm going to keep that at 8,000 because that's challenging enough because I'm home on those days. At work, there's something about it, it's just easier for me to get up and go walk on my 15-minute breaks than it is for me. And on Tuesdays, when I take my 15-minute breaks on Tuesdays, I kind of use that more of a getting the house picked up a little more kind of stuff than going outside and walking. Since I'm home, I kind of take advantage of that and try to do like laundry and other things during my 15-minute breaks. So I want to keep the steps at about 8,000 because that's still challenging for Tuesday and Saturday. On Sunday, I'm not going to track my steps out. On Sunday, starting today, I'm not tracking anything. I'm not going to track my food. I'm not going to track my steps. It's my day off, right? I just get to breathe, right? So that's what I'm going to do for Sundays. So the only thing that's really changing is Mondays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays. I'm shooting for 8,500 steps a day. And I'll probably continue, I'm sure, as the 2 weeks keep going and going, upping those steps. So I'd really like to get to like 10,000 steps. We'll see how it goes. So that's really the only thing that's going to change. I'm going to continue to track my food. Now, like I said, eventually I'm going to get to the point that I'm not going to track food anymore. But I want to continue going and watching this losing trend happen and getting that in tune to where it becomes just a natural part of me. I can look at a plate of food and say, yeah, that's about right. I don't feel like I'm quite there yet, so I'll take another 2 weeks. So 2 weeks, no changes. That's the plan. That's what I'm sticking to. Okay? So, how are you guys doing? Because I want to hear about it. Are you just right now focusing on working out, not so much on nutrition? Are you doing both? Like, is there any other thing that we can get together and research together and find out more? Let me know. I did have, if I can find my notes now where I was at, so I was thinking the other day, and I sent something over, and I can't remember exactly how I put it, but we were talking about obedience. And I've talked about how obedience kind of helps create the wind that's going to help us glide, right? It's going to be what helps us kind of fly a little bit easier. And a little bit after I had sent that out to you guys, God started speaking to me about the Israelites, and that He had given this Israelites the promised land. And He was like, man, this land, it is full of milk and honey. Like, it is a wonderful place to be. And you are free to be in it. All you have to do is step into this obedience of going in and taking it. I've already given it to you. It's yours. So when you walk in to take it from enemy territory and make it the territory that's actually yours, when you go to take that back, you're going to win. But then what did the Israelites do? They saw the huge people, the Canaanites. They were like, we're nothing but grasshoppers. And they didn't they didn't follow through with the obedience. They decided the obedience to get to the promised land wasn't worth it. And you guys, 40 years they had to wander a wilderness instead of getting to go in to a land full of milk and honey and all the things that they could enjoy, that God wanted to gift them with. He wanted to pour out His blessings on them, but the obedience just wasn't worth it to them. So let me ask you this: is the obedience worth getting that wind under your wings? Is the obedience worth it? It's not easy, and we're not going to be perfectly obedient. But whenever we want to sit back, like I did the other night, was it even yesterday? When I was like, I don't want to worry about this 8,000 steps. But that's going to plant seeds that are going to harvest later. And that wasn't going to be good seed for me to start planting and saying, I'm not going to worry about it today. That's just going to create more of a harvest. Like the harvest multiplies. So instead, the Spirit came in and gave me the ability and the strength to go out there and plant the good seed of getting it done. Now look, it may seem like not a big deal. Monica, it's just steps. What's the big deal? Because that's going to carry over even into my spiritual life. Everything is practice. Everything is training. And so as I grow with Christ and I grow with God, not only does that bleed into my life, but life bleeds into, like, it's all connected. There's none of it that's separate. None of it. Not the way I eat, not the way I exercise, not the way I talk to my husband, not the way I treat my kids, not the way I treat other people. Everything is tied together into the discipline and obedience of me submitting my heart and life to Christ. Everything is a part of it. And everything is good training ground. Just like we talked about tonight in Bible study. When we talked about David having his training ground in those pasture land times all by himself, just him and God. And he was throwing that, like, he'd be like, let me see if I can hit that rock way over there with my little, lost the words, slingshot and rocks. Let me see if I can hit that squirrel out there. Let me see if I can hit this. Let me see. And he practiced and he practiced and he trained and he trained and he talked to God, and he had no idea that he was about to slay a giant with that slingshot and his relationship with God. Because his relationship with God is what beat the giant. That's good. God just gave me that. It was his relationship with God that beat the giant more than that pebble did. Same thing for those Israelites. When they did finally 40 years later and that new generation got to go into that promised land, it was their relationship with God that beat that enemy. And it's our relationship with God that is going to beat our food addictions, that's going to beat our laziness and our idleness, that's going to beat our gossiping. It's going to beat how we talk to our husbands. It's going to beat it all. So we stop focusing so much on what needs to change, and we just get into the obedience. We just get into the obedience that God has given us to do because of the relationship that we have with Him. If we will just step into that, then it's our relationship that will do the fighting. Increase the relationship, you increase your victories. Do we got a good focus for the next 2 weeks? He just gave me a good one. Alright, you guys. That's all I've got for you this week. So Monday starts brand new schedule. Brand new workout schedule. It's 25-minute workouts for the next 5 weeks. So it's going to be a little shorter. Now it's going to be still some good work. I mean, she packs in a lot in that 25 minutes, but it goes fast. It's going to be cutting off about 10 minutes of what we're used to. I know I'm going to appreciate it because I'm not going to have to rush to work quite as fast. Like, not that I speed, and I'm not speeding, but like rushing here, trying to get everything together and let's go, and then getting to work and trying to hurry up and get to my office. It's going to save me a little time, which I appreciate. So we'll see how this goes the next 5 weeks. So when we finish this next calendar, we will be 9 weeks in, and we have committed to 12. Which I'm not stopping at 12. Y'all will be welcome to if you want, anybody who decides they want out, but I will keep this group going if there's just one person who wants to keep it going. Be sure and invite people. If you would like to have other people in, they can either go all the way back to day 1 and start there, or just pick up on Monday as we start a brand new calendar. Alright, I'm going to pray us out, and then I'm going to go in here and watch Aladdin with my husband. And I mean, it's great. I like Aladdin, whatever. And then we'll start a new week tomorrow. Lord, I thank you so much for this time that we have together, for the fellowship that we have together, and for how you are teaching us that although we are not going to be perfect, we can walk in your grace and your mercy, and we can plant the good seeds that's going to create a good relationship with you, that will also create good relationship with food, with our bodies, with movement, with our husbands and our kids. It all starts with our relationship with you, Lord. May that bleed into everything else we have in our life. Thank you again, Lord, and we love you so much. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, y'all go make next week great by seeing all the ways God is pouring his blessings out on you. Love you, mean it.